tell us when we're ready, I think.
Okay,
Okay,
whenever you're ready.
okay, thank you, Chris. Welcome you to the March 28th, 2023 meeting of the
I'm
council.
not sure if I unmuted. No, I left you guys muted.
Okay.
Sorry. Sorry.
That's okay. You're doing something different. It's a learning curve for all of us.
Okay. Now you can begin.
Okay. Welcome you to the March 28th, 2023 meeting of the Board of the Council on Aging. We're kind of waiting for Ed Watson to appear. He has requested that we add him into Zoom. But in the meantime, do I have a call to order? Do I have a
Move we
motion
co-
to open the meeting?
Move we call the meeting to order.
Second.
Before we begin, I would like to read the mission of the COA. The mission of the Council on Aging is to advocate for Groveland's older adults, to identify their needs, to develop and implement services, to meet their health, economic, social, and cultural needs, to encourage maximum independence, and to improve their quality of life. So our first item on the agenda is sadly to accept the resignation of our new Council of Aging Director, Sean Cass. I have, just to keep everyone updated, I've brought his letters of resignation. Some of you have not been privy to them. So the first one was on Friday, March 17th at 3:29 p.m., and it was sent to me and to Town Administrator Rebecca Oldham. And it says, Rebecca and Laurel, I am resigning from my position as the Director, Council on Aging. Please find my formal 2 weeks' notice attached, and as such, my last in the role of Director will be on Friday, March 31st, 2023. If you would like me to formally notify the Board of Selectmen directly or any other department, please let me know. It has been an honor and privilege to serve the town of Groveland in this important role. Thank you, Sean Cass. On the same day, roughly an hour and a half later, 5 p.m., to me, says, Laurel, please do not share this broadly at this time. After additional discussion with Rebecca, we have agreed that I will take the weekend to think about this step a little more. I will update you on my next steps next week. Thank you, Sean. On Monday, March 21st at 8:09 a.m., sent to Rebecca Oldham.
Point of order.
Yes?
I would like to suspend reading this letter. I think it involves personnel in the town, and I would be concerned about confidentiality matters.
Okay,
I
well, I would
also-
like to,
I would also propose that we table the discussion on Sean's resignation. I would like to table the vote on Sean's resignation. I believe that there were mistakes made. I believe that it's in the best interest of the Council on Aging to further the mission to have Sean in the position that we hired him for. We have a lot of leeway as a board in terms of hiring and retaining our employees. They are first and foremost employees of the Council on Aging. Everyone sitting here was absolutely thrilled with the work that Sean did.
yes,
And
well, I
and
would like to read that part of the letter. if I may.
and I think that it behooves the board to exhaust every possibility. This happened so fast and so quickly and so unexpectedly that we have not had a chance to take a step back and see what we can do moving forward that will remedy this situation, but more importantly, protect the director, whoever it is. Whether or not Sean comes back, we need to have some things in place that safeguards and safeguards not only the director, but the assistant director, the outreach worker, this should not have ever gone to anyone other than the board, my
You're
estimation.
absolutely right. You're
So,
absolutely right.
but that's not clear. And, the town administrator is a new position. I have been reading all about the job description. In nowhere in her job description does it call her to be a mediator. And she admitted herself that she was not aware of the particular aspects of Sean's job that were
His
called
role.
into question here. Sean should not have gone into that meeting alone, and the meeting should
Should not have happened.
it should not have happened in the first place. So I don't think I don't think that we can walk away at this point. I don't want to start a new search committee. I was perfectly happy with the work we did, and I really insist that we give it some time. I asked Sean if he would reconsider. He has not said yes. He has not said no. I think that this is fixable, bottom line.
I would love it to be.
So what I propose is this. I propose, and I would like to bring before the board at our next meeting some proposals. And at that point, we could consider Sean's resignation if we have not been able to make any headway. I'd like Barbara and I, who were on the search committee, to propose that we meet with the town administrator and the Selectman Naves, who was also on the search committee, to see if we can not only resolve the questions of how this would be prevented from happening again. But furthermore, I think that, in the past, the Council on Aging Board has not had to be strong. I mean, you look at the bylaws, and we're supposed to have a standing finance committee, a standing personnel committee, and a standing nominating committee. We had such great directors over the years that the board was just really a rubber stamp, but we're an active board. We have our sleeves rolled up, and we're in there every day, and we know what Sean meant to the board. So I propose that we table that discussion on his resignation until our regular meeting.
Would you mind if I read the part about thanking the public and the board?
I think that's fine.
Okay, let me find out what that is. This is from his third letter. In my short time here, I have received nothing but positive feedback and appreciation for the work I have done to help support the senior population of Groveland. I've received calls and emails and direct feedback from the community, members, and their families, department heads, caseworkers, and the COA board. And then he goes on to say what he has done. So I guess we would need to vote since this is an agenda item. I will state that as far as I know, it was on the agenda for the Board of Selectmen meeting last night to accept his resignation.
I went to the meeting
Did you?
and
Okay.
asked them not to address that.
Thank you,
Because
'cause
the
I haven't
board
had a
had not
chance.
had a chance to address it.
Thank you. I don't know, yeah. All right, thank you. So we need to take a vote if we suspend this accepting of Sean's resignation and one thing at a time, I guess that would be the first thing. So can I have, where we're on a Zoom meeting, we have to take a roll call vote, aye or nay. I'll go around the room. Deb? Oh, wait,
So,
first we need to do the
who made the
motion. Yes,
motion?
make a motion. Will someone make a motion?
I made a motion that we table the discussion on Sean's,
Yep.
or postpone the discussion on
Postpone.
Sean's
And second?
resignation. Second? Okay.
All right.
Is there the opportunity?
Yeah,
on
discussion.
a table motion to discuss?
Yes.
Yes.
Not, okay. I wasn't sure if a table motion had to move automatically, but it doesn't.
No, actually, I think you're
Discussion.
right.
I think it
I
does.
think you're
I
right.
think a table
Discussion.
motion-
All right, so let me rephrase that. I move we postpone the discussion on,
Okay,
postpone the vote
okay.
up for discussion.
Right.
The table, I think automatically.
All right, so,
So, I guess I would like nothing better than for us to be able to get Sean to reconsider and bring him back. I think that would absolutely be in the best interests of Groveland seniors. My firsthand viewing when I have been in the office has been that he's built trust and rapport, has lots of ideas, already made improvements in his very short tenure there. So I would completely support anything that we could do to bring him back. I guess my question is that a realistic? And I don't know if you can answer that.
mhm.
Do you think that's a realistic option for us? Or are we,
Whether or not he comes back, we have lost 3 directors in a row, and nothing has changed.
that's right.
So we have to attempt to make some changes. Whether it will be enough to bring him back is a
Yeah.
secondary factor. We need to get ourselves together.
Right. we
Ducks
have
in a
to-
row.
We have to.
Our
we
ducks
have
in
to
a row.
improve the climate. We have to improve the climate.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else for just under discussion?
I,
Irene?
I totally agree with what is being said here. The building trust, I think we used the word building bridges. Sean was someone who was building bridges that needed to be built and were being built effectively, humanitarianly, if that's a word. And we have a problem to solve. It doesn't seem as if this problem is resolving itself. There seems to be a problem. Why do we have 3 directors in a row leaving? What's the missing piece in all of this? What's the positive action piece that needs to be taken here? I think we need to do some figuring out about that so that this doesn't keep happening. The seniors, about 1/3 of the population of Groveland are seniors. The seniors deserve better than this. We've had 3 people who were trying to build bridges or were building them, 3 people who were being supportive of seniors, 3 people who were dedicated to the mission to protect seniors, to meet their needs through outreach. And in how many meetings have we discussed that outreach is needed to be in a position to do more to meet the needs of seniors, and then to provide both educational and social opportunities for seniors. But the top of the pyramid goal is protecting seniors and their needs. So what is happening to cause the support structure in town not to support those actions, those worthy, positive, and productive actions?
I think the support is a big question. I'm quoting from a letter that I wrote to Sean and the other final candidate, same letter, inviting them to come and interview in front of the full board. In the second paragraph, I said, if you are chosen to be the Groveland's COA director, you will be working with an amazing and knowledgeable assistant director. True. A caring and engaging van drivers and and a supportive and invested board of directors in a positive, hardworking town hall environment. That's what we promised him. And the question of support isn't just the support of the town. I think that if you look at the the volume of paper that is generated and what we can and can't do with open meeting laws and protecting people's confidentiality and conflict of interest laws and all the other ways we have to negotiate through. I mean, most of the time, we don't even know if we run into each other at the supermarket, if we formed a quorum or not. I mean, it's very frustrating, but within all of that, we have, in our bylaws, we have the opportunity to step up and build structures so that things happen the way we want them to. And I think we need some time to do that. And whether or not Sean comes back to serve us, I am going to use him as a resource because he is on the Council on Aging in a neighboring town, and he is connected. And he might be able to, I mean, I'm sure that there are other towns that are struggling with the change from a town meeting board direction to a town administrator. And I think part of what we're going through is how to negotiate that. And I think that it is a negotiation. And I think that the board is in a strong position to get things changed so that we can fulfill the mission that we're all here for.
Anyone else?
I wholeheartedly agree with everything that my fellow board members have said. We have lost 3 directors, and in looking at that, you know, if you lose one, it's like, okay, that could be a variable. Many, many reasons why. If you lose 2, and in their letters, they all read the same thing, if you lose 2 for that same reason, then maybe we should take a look at this. But when you lose 3 in a very short period of time, then Houston, we have a problem. And for those that might not understand that reference to the Apollo 13 movie, it means.
Everybody here does.
I know, everybody here does. Basically, that means that we have a serious situation that needs to be addressed before we can, in good faith, either hire a new director or have our wonderful director, Sean Cass, return to us. We need to solve, or at least certainly work very hard towards fixing that situation that is definitely in place.
I agree. It's a sad day when he left.
Yes.
Was still sad.
But I agree.
And another thing, it's not just, I shouldn't say just, but we also lost half a board. And that's why we have so many new members on this board, and I thank you and appreciate each one of you, I say that in English, for the hard work and dedication you are putting into this. And there are certain things, if you look at the bylaws and our bylaws that are within the towns, we do have this power that Larry is speaking about, that we are the people who need to see if we can get this done, taken care of. I would love it if we could get Sean to come back. It just seems that in all the conversations I've had with him, and, you know, it was hard because I was not allowed to say anything until, you know, he gave me the okay. We had numerous phone conversations over that weekend, all through that week, and I think he really loved working here. He really had a passion for doing this kind of work, and appreciated everything that we and the public, you know, the community did for him, or, you know, the interactions that he had made. So, thank you, Larry, for that suggestion. I didn't know if that would be a possibility, and I'm just trying to, the reason we did this was we had the resignation, we needed to accept it. I don't know if we can legally say we're not accepting it.
We're not, I think that even if we accepted the resignation, It does not preclude him from reapplying
Reapplying.
further down the road.
Okay, that's how,
So I think that, when looking through the personnel manual for the town, and for instance, when an employee leaves, the whole personnel manual is written for when the town is not happy with the employee.
yes.
There's no language in that talks about when the employee is unhappy with the town. And I think that the notion of what's the terminology, on probation, not on probation,
Probationary
It is
period.
probationary. Yeah, and he's
probationary
still under
period.
on probation.
There's a 6-month period for the town to try out somebody before they've granted. And I think in this case, we're the ones that have to prove ourselves.
Exactly.
Sean has proven himself. We're the ones that have to prove ourselves. And it's the board's action that
Yes.
has to happen. We need to stand together. We need to stand strong. I don't know if he's coming back. I know that you worked really hard over the weekend. I know that the
Good one,
town
too.
administrator worked hard to resolve this. I expected that I'd have at least until the 31st to work on it. And
very
because that was the
positive.
original date that he asked, and I thought, we can do this. I mean, we needed some time for people to take a step back, to cool down, to get out of the heat of the moment, and move forward. I have sat in many, many meetings in my own career where people, there was no bad action here. These were people, very passionate people, doing what they believed was the right thing. Who can argue with people standing up for what they want? I just think that there's a way to fix it. And I want to try,
Good.
because that's what we said we would do. We will give him
Yes, we-
the support that he needs. So this
right.
is it.
This is the support time.
Okay, any more discussion?
I think I would like to add that, two things that I observed in COA board meetings since I've been on. We, as a 5-member board, several years ago, 2 years ago, realized that we did not have enough people, enough dedicated members when the board was 5 in order to be able to have a financial, personnel, and what's the third one?
Nominating.
Nominating committees. We just, when you take 5 people and you try to have 3 standing committees, the math didn't work.
Right.
So we followed protocol and we did what we needed to do in a sequence of meetings in order to vote to expand the board from 5 to 7, so we would have more members. We did that. And look at how it strengthened the board and brought so many, such a variety of worthy skill sets and contributions by board members. In addition, at every meeting that we had with Sean, every monthly board meeting, he was always talking about the future. Well, I'm not going anywhere. Well, when we do this, when we plan for this in the long run, when I collaborate with the library in Nichols Village to come up with programs for seniors that could be very meaningful and supportive, he was always talking about the future. He's invested. He's invested in seniors, he's invested in Groveland, he's invested in solutions. Solutions, solutions. How many times did we hear solutions, solutions, solutions? And I think we owe it to him to take action and find solutions, because that's the way he approaches at least his professional life and work.
Yes.
That's his dedication. And so now we need to be dedicated to support him for solutions. Thank you.
Anyone else? So do we take a vote on the motion that Larry made? Irene, did you write it down to get the exact
I
words?
do have it. It was very brief. Thank you for this.
I want you to say it exactly as the motion.
The motion was to postpone the vote on Sean Cass's resignation.
Okay, and it would be, like I said, we have to do a roll call.
Okay.
So, ready?
Yeah.
Deb,
I vote yes.
Irene,
I vote yes.
Larry,
Yes.
I vote
Marie?
yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
Definitely yes.
Yes. You just, yeah. When you get home, Irene, just say unanimous,
I got
and then
it.
you'll know who we are.
All seven.
Okay.
I'm good with
Okay, so, we do have a personnel board, committee, sorry, on the board. I don't know if it should be dealings with, going forward with the personnel committee, which consists of Irene, Larry, and myself, or do you want to work on this as a total board?
The problem with working on it as a total board is
Trying
the
to-
open meeting
the
laws.
quorum,
We'd have to
right.
schedule the meetings 3 days out and all of that.
So it should be only 3.
What I propose is that Irene and I are the Personnel Committee, and as the president, as an ex officio member, then we have a little bit more leeway in terms of carrying on conversations.
Okay.
And I also know in the bylaws that other non-board members can be included in other words, we can use resources,
Somebody.
other resources, other people who are non-board members. And I know that there was somebody else on the search committee who has a HR background who might be very helpful in helping us figure a way forward. There's also, a ton of information on the town website, and a lot to sift through. And I think that keeping this committee small,
Oh,
making us, having us come back to the full board next month for discussion, and it doesn't mean that we cannot solicit your input. We would welcome your input going forward. All of us have different experiences, different background, different strengths, but I think that's an important aspect of it.
okay. So, I guess where I'm the chair, I need to appoint this committee, so it would be to add to the, it's not to the personnel committee.
No, you don't need to add other people. You just appoint the personnel committee, and that's not something that you need to
Right.
vote on, because it's up to your discretion to just
Right.
appoint.
So what I mean is, I need to announce who it's going to be, correct? Just like
Yes.
like I was planning to do the search committee. So, and I believe you're talking about the person who's not on our board or in town hall that was on the committee.
Right.
Okay, so I would appoint Irene Thomas, Larry McElhaney, and Susan Hancox, who was on the original search committee and is the community person you're talking about, correct?
I think that the board, the personnel committee can just be board members. If,
I didn't say personnel committee, I'm saying this separate committee
separate committee for what? I'm not sure.
for, okay, so when you're saying we need to do something about it, that's what I'm asking. Do we all work on it as a board? Do we have a committee that makes suggestions on steps to be taken?
Okay.
You're confusing me.
Here's
It's
the
one
way
thing
I-
to just
I
say we're going to work on it, and then,
Here's the way I see it, and see if it makes sense. That the standing personnel committee
yes,
is Irene and I. Just like there should be a standing finance.
financial, which
That would
I
be-
don't understand why we do that, because, except for making budget, I guess for the budget time.
Well, if you think of the reason why the first director in my tenure resigned,
Okay.
that
to
was a
help-
financial question,
Financial
and
issue.
even though it is on paper resolved, until the budget is approved, we will not see that through. So
Right,
we can't say that it's done.
Right, right.
right? So I know, we hope it is. But I think that the financial part is, we need a subcommittee for that, so we should
I
have
guess we
that.
kinda
But-
had
but-
one, but we
But
didn't
getting back to
name it.
this, if we keep the subcommittee, the personnel subcommittee small,
Yes.
there is a provision, it doesn't need to be appointed, we can just use resources in the town.
Okay, all right.
So
I haven't
that third person does not have to be appointed to the board. She hasn't even been consulted, asked about it.
Well-
So it'd be kind of audacious to appoint her to a board that she hasn't volunteered for. I did talk to her about joining the search committee, and I still think, since it's on the agenda, we should still establish a search committee, because the other one was ended.
Yes.
And we want to be ready. The question might come up, should we accept Sean's letter so that we can post the position? But I know that we waited a long time for applicants, and I don't think that the pool has changed in 3 months. So I'm not in a rush to actually have the job posted. But I would like the committee to meet so that we can be ready when the posting is done.
So,
So that's a lot. So, but I think that if we just keep and you don't have to do anything because the personnel committee is already established. We
right,
did that
and we are allowed to
earlier.
have others, and I think, like you said, the smaller the better, so we don't deal with issues of quorum or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So, okay, I wasn't sure if I had to do that appointing.
Yeah,
like-
I don't think so.
Okay, because it's already exists, and you're allowed to
We're allowed to
take
bring people
from-
in.
Okay. All right, so the next thing on our agenda is to create the search committee. We have been very fortunate, where are my notes now? We are making a new search committee, because the other one had been voted to be disbanded once we had Sean in place. All these people have agreed to serve on the search committee. So it would be Larry McElhaney, Barbara Sanborn, and Marie Waller, who are on our board. Beth Cuniff, who is the town clerk, so we would have someone from, or Elizabeth Cuniff, someone from the town who knows all the regs, and Susan Hancox, who was on the committee before. So I don't think we need to vote on that. I think I just
You
have
just
the
appoint.
power to appoint.
Yeah.
So that will be our search committee. And I think having it as a little bit smaller, I think it was very intimidating to have it so large last time. It was intimidating to applicants to come before the big committee. Okay, so that's that. Number 3, discuss future steps. All right, one of the things I had, but I guess now where we just voted that we're going to hold off on this, but do we present a letter to the public to explain?
So, yeah, so I think we need to discuss our messaging
Yes.
about this and figure out what that messaging should be. Given that we have not yet accepted Sean's resignation, then I don't think we should put something out that we have. However, I mean, it's already,
Out
you
and
know, it's
about.
a small town. Not much stays quiet. So people are already asking questions. I'm sure as the week goes on this week, as people come in, and look for him, I mean, we need to give direction, to both Nisha and Maureen.
Definitely.
I think we need to come up with something. I think transparency, I don't think we obviously don't need to give details
Details.
about any of the people involved in this, but I think it needs to be made absolutely clear that there was no dissatisfaction on the part of the Council on Aging Board with Sean.
And
I
that
want to be
we're-
fair. to him. And I think that's, people are gonna come in there and say, wow, you know, he was here, he's gone, what, you know.
What are you people doing over
What are you,
there?
yeah, well, not only that, but or they're gonna say, what did he do?
Or what did he do? Yep.
And that's not appropriate. So I'm not sure if anyone has any suggestions for what our messaging should be, but I do think as the board, we need to give some instructions to Nisha and Maureen.
And
I don't know what that
mean,
is.
And even to let people know, because, so Sean's voicemail and his email has been shut down. So people
they're
who
not
he has maybe contacted 2 weeks
Well,
ago,
does Nisha have access?
it goes to Nisha. And then, well, I want to talk to Sean. What is she supposed to say? And let people know, you know, like you're saying, there's not just, oh, I came in here to talk to Sean.
Yeah, I know. We need to.
We need that, and we need it, because this has been posted. I've already received quite a few phone calls about this. It's been, you know, it's like I just tune into the meeting. That's what I pretty much said. Yeah, I don't know
mean-
how to phrase this or to even let the information out. Marie?
Would it be proper to say that he's on a leave of absence?
He really isn't, and I
Is
think
that
true? I don't
that
think-
implies
yeah.
some legal obligations on the part of the town. It
Okay.
implies, so, I know, I don't think we can.
Okay,
Um,
just a thought.
Yeah, I know, but since he has not
Right.
asked for a leave of absence, then
Right.
we can't say that he
Right.
is.
In situations like this, I have always found that it's helpful to have a very short response that's truthful, but, or honest. And I'm thinking key words in a short sentence might be, certainly confidentiality has to be there, and none of us can speak of this. And maybe the word unresolved possibly being in there. Or do we just
Or do
keep
we
it as
just
simple
say-
as confident, you know, well, there's an issue with confidentiality and we can't speak of it? And none of us will speak of it?
But we do have to be able to, when people call, I mean, obviously, he's not there. We can't say he's coming back.
Right,
We
right.
can't say.
We don't know
No,
that,
we
right?
But when
don't know that
people-
is true.
But I think when, you know, and I'm sure Nisha's already doing that. I'm sorry, he's no longer here. I'm
Right.
sure that's what she's doing,
Sorry.
you know? But then the next, most human nature, the follow-up question is going to be, well, what the heck happened?
Exactly, and then what do
That's the
you
question
say?
we can't
That's
answer.
the piece.
There's an unresolved
situation.
issue of
Right.
confidentiality.
And the
Can
board
we
is
sim-
working on it,
Can we
maybe.
say
Being
the,
worked on.
yeah,
And we're working on it.
he's not here, the board, the Council on Aging Board is working on a resolution
Okay,
that will be and it will be discussed at our April, whatever the date is, meeting.
right, April 19th.
Is that okay? I mean, I don't know.
So
Can I hear it again?
we are sorry. We are sorry for the situation, and we are working on, and the board is working on a resolution.
I don't know if we can say we're sorry. I mean, he's no longer here. You know, we can't discuss the details. We're
Right.
unable to discuss the details. However, the board is working on a resolution, and it will be discussed, to be discussed at
I'm
our,
going to write this down.
Well, I'm
So-
trying to, yeah.
He's no
Once
longer
we get
here.
it all together, I
How
think
about
we should
he has
write it
stepped
down.
away?
he has stepped away.
He has stepped away.
Okay, because that does make it,
That he might step back in.
No,
well, it also shows that it was his choice.
Right.
I mean, I don't want anyone to think
No, that he
that we
was,
did
that
this.
he was
Right.
wrong either.
Right, 'cause we have
He was
to
Because
protect
that
the
is the impression that is,
Yeah, that's out there, yeah. that
that's
he
out
did
there, that
something
I
wrong.
have been getting.
Yeah.
So what
That's
is the
not
board
fair
doing?
at
Why
all.
can't you keep a director?
yeah, so Sean, here's
Yeah,
what
let's
I've got
say-
so
let's
far.
say.
Sean has stepped away. I cannot speak, we cannot speak about this, but the COA board is working on a resolution, or the COA board cannot speak about this, but we are working on a resolution.
Due to confidentiality, could you put that in there? We cannot speak, due to confidentiality, comma, the board cannot speak of this issue.
COA board cannot, but due to
Well, and if we're
confidence-
giving this statement to Nisha and Maureen.
So that's a blank, they
heads
fill it
together
in,
and then
I
make it-
cannot speak to this.
Yes, okay.
And maybe also put in there something about put in the mission of the Council on Aging, and that we have not and will not waver from our commitment to fulfilling that mission.
Good idea.
Yes,
The board, the staff, the board and the staff of the
staff,
Council on
right.
Aging remain committed to our mission of supporting Groveland seniors, and we will do everything in our power
To meet this.
to complete that mission.
To resolve this.
And resolve, or, yeah,
To-
resolve.
Very good. They resolved it.
Well, we,
You
So
read
much
it
for
all
being
down?
short.
Secretary.
Well, I'll put it together
That's okay.
properly.
Paragraph.
so Sean has stepped away due to confidentiality, the COA board / I, as a staff member, whatever, cannot speak about it. But we are working on
Rest assured,
rest assured, the COA board and staff remain committed to supporting Groveland seniors and are working on a resolution, or to resolve
Hey, let's
this.
try it again.
Could you specifically mention the mission of the Council on Aging?
That's long.
We can put it,
No,
well,
just
no,
reference
the whole
if
mission.
we're
Just-
going,
Just so we're,
Didn't I say that?
Maybe, but rest assured that we,
Can
Okay.
we will not waver from our commitment to the mission of the Council on Aging.
To the COA mission and supporting Groveland seniors. And working on a resolution, and working,
towards a
I don't like-
resolution, towards a resolution.
towards a, yeah.
see, I think that takes action, so I want to make it a verb, and are working to resolve this,
Resolve what?
to resolve the issue.
What issue?
well, you can't say.
You can't, you were saying there's an issue.
Working toward a resolution. I guess it's time for a noun. Okay.
English teacher.
Now,
I like,
So
verbs are
is,
the power
What we're
words.
trying to say anyway, and as an English teacher, you could tweak it, right?
right.
so Irene, if you could,
No, I want it to
Really?
be approved.
yes,
Oh,
and
it'll be-
then we send it out, because I can't write all that
Right.
down.
Sean has stepped away due to confidentiality, blank, cannot speak of the issue. The COA board and staff remain committed to the COA mission and supporting Groveland seniors and are working toward a resolution.
Can you say the word issue?
I don't know.
I don't like
So
that.
Sean has
We cannot
stepped
discuss
away.
details.
We cannot discuss details
Yeah.
due to
Okay.
confidentiality.
Details, I'm thinking
That's, you got it,
issues.
okay,
Yeah,
And
that's
that's it.
not
okay.
Because
right.
I feel like I'm in English class.
I'll write that sentence and.
well, issue
I
implies.
didn't ask you to diagram the sentence yet.
Yes.
That could come in your future.
Okay, so Irene, if you would send that to us.
There's a whiteboard up
so
there.
we have it.
I will write this up and send it to every board member and every staff member.
Okay, now, do we put this out to the general public as well?
I have to say that this is a really important issue to everyone in this room, but,
We don't need to. Announce it.
you know, at town hall, at the selectmen's meeting last night, select persons meeting last night, there are so many other big issues going on in the town. I don't think that this is on people's radar. And I think that's to our advantage. I know in town hall it's a big deal, but I don't think outside there, and, you know, certainly within the Council on Aging community, it will become, as people become more aware. But I think that, you know, if they're tuning in to watch the show, or they're sitting here listening to our discussion, they know where we're coming from. And,
Okay.
you know, I don't think that we need to
Broadcast.
create some, you know, if people are interested, they are interested and they're hearing the message. I don't think that we need to go out of our way to
Because
do
originally,
that.
I think when if we did the
If we had
resignation,
accepted, then
we would have to.
I felt
send it
very
to-
strongly that we needed to put out some public statement about that.
I agree,
Yeah,
and,
but since we have not,
and that might happen after,
Yes.
after the April
Right.
meeting.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so if I.
But that gives us time to tweak this even more.
Right, and I think what you said is really important, Larry, that if people are interested, they are going to contact the Council on Aging. That's when they get this information. Otherwise, do they need it?
Right, I agree.
Okay.
Good idea. Just to.
And hopefully we can sit down 6 months from now and say, remember back, and boy, we
Yeah,
got through
hopefully
that. You know, so
Yeah.
we have to be hopeful,
So
we have to
we-
be positive.
Yep. So we will not be posting the meeting, so that little note goes. There are some tasks in the meantime that need to be done to help the COA, because Sean had a lot of things on the back burner and boiling. One of them is, Anisha has asked the board if we could help set up and take down for the volunteer appreciation brunch
On April 10th?
on April 10th. She said if someone could be there at 9:30 to help, she's hopefully, hopefully Frank can help. And then
I volunteer.
also at the end, and she said whoever can do either the beginning or the end, that's got to be done. And she can't do it, she's a one-man
No,
band.
some of us have already volunteered.
Yes, yes, well, I'm just reminding, and.
I
if any-
can't
any-
be there that day,
No,
it's
but-
Mondays, so.
And if anyone in the public wants to come and help set up tables, chairs.
Do you need me to assign a spouse to come down and do this?
Oh, we may need him for a different thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So,
hold on.
Okay, there's not lots more, there are more things.
All of us.
The tent, Sean had told us at our last meeting that he had expected it to go up in mid-April, April 15th, around there. Nisha said they will need 6 people. Last year, Rennie, who's the
Highway Department?
Highway Department, Public Works, whatever. Some people from the fire department and the custodian, Steve McPherson, came and they helped, but they will need 6 people. And we just need to inform Rebecca that we need to get the tent out of storage on a day. So did you help too, Larry,
I did help
You
last
did
year.
help.
I'll take that responsibility.
Okay, so if you wanna
I'll coordinate
get
that,
the
I'll get in touch with
A
the
sunny
people.
day, a
Right.
nice day to do that, but around April 15th. They were, originally, it was supposed to be April 1st, but Sean thought that where we were having snow all of a sudden so late in the season, what if we have another one of those big, heavy, wet snows that would kill the tent? Meanwhile, Nisha is looking into the 3 sides. She has the contact person. Sean did give her everything, for what he was working on. So that's the
And the Jersey
tent.
barriers go first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Larry, for doing that. Now, the fridge. So, I'm getting this from the 2 remaining employees that are, well, not, there are more than 2, but from Maureen and from Nisha. There has been a new fridge ordered for the pantry. Sean was very upset that it wasn't keeping the temperature. Our Board of Health and our neighbor's table have come in and said, it's obvious, it has a temperature gauge on it, I guess, and it says what the temperature is. As long as it doesn't exceed, I believe it's 43 degrees at any time, it's safe. Every time you open a refrigerator door, it goes down, the temperature goes down. So, in the meantime, it's been moved into the COA office, and it's there. This new one has been ordered. It's en route and should have arrived here anywhere between March 31st and April 6th. The old one is fine, the temperature fluctuation is fine as per our Board of Health and our neighbor's table. We really didn't need one, but Amazon has agreed that they would replace, so the existing one we have now, they will replace for free.
Right.
We don't have to return that other one, so we'd have 2 refrigerators, if that's what we'd like. But Sean said, no, he decided to spend about another $1,000 to get a bigger and better one. Now, this is the issue. The doorway is 79 inches tall. This refrigerator is 82 and a half inches. So, okay, that's not a big issue. You tip it, you bring it in.
Right.
Where the old refrigerator is, that old refrigerator, I shouldn't call it old, it's fairly brand new, is 39 inches. The new one is 54 inches wide.
Whoa.
So that freezer would have to be moved, which means you're going to lose space in the pantry. The freezer would need a dedicated special outlet, which they needed to do for the refrigerator, because the cord would not reach unless you're allowed to, like, put it into an extension cord and stretch it over to that, you know, the specialized outlet. Probably, what is it, 220, I don't know, 220? 220, you know, like you have your air conditioners in. So, Nisha and Maureen is like, why are we getting a bigger and better? We're fine with this one. It's not, do we need something? We're spending an extra $1,000. It's bigger. Are we at that point? The old one was fine. Let's take a free one from Amazon and have one in the office and one, I don't know.
I will say.
So people who are pantry workers, you know more than I do.
I will say that I saw the temperature go up over 43 degrees.
Oh, you have?
I mean,
Was
it
that
was
when you
just
were
barely.
filling it?
Well, no, after a while, like, we would fill it and then check it a couple hours later when we first really started using it. And I mean, it's, you know, it's a gauge, so it's not like digital, so I can't tell
Oh,
you.
okay.
But I mean, it was definitely over the 40
Okay.
mark. I mean, maybe right on 43, 44.
Okay.
It was a little, it was close. And there have been days when that refrigerator,
Yours.
when we first get on the Wednesdays, when we get our neighbor's table delivery, it's been packed some of the days.
Okay.
And we're putting food in that's not in the 40-degree range, and so, of course, it brings the temperature down. But we're also putting milk and dairy in
Yeah.
there, which is a concern.
So, and I know,
About for the temperature.
Sean had told us that he and Nisha measured
Yeah,
before ordering this.
yeah.
This is it. Here are the specs.
Well, according to Sean, they had measured, and if they angled the
It will
freezer, the way
fit.
the freezer is angled, that the refrigerator will fit, right?
Right.
If the freezer moved from here to the angle, the way it is now, or the
Would
way
the
it was
cord
last week,
reach?
Yeah, it was that way last week.
it would fit.
I'm just
Yeah, I
telling you,
don't
when I
know.
said, what tasks do we have? The other thing is apparently quite a lot of the food was thrown away.
Really?
Well,
I
found
question that.
vegetables from our neighbor's table
Oh.
several days, that, I mean, you put your finger through an onion.
Yeah,
We threw those away.
Oh,
yeah. And potatoes that were very soft and all, we
okay. This
had
was
to.
apparently cartons of eggs. Steve, the custodian,
No.
found them in.
What? Those go.
I've
You
never
guys
thrown a carton of
didn't.
eggs.
No, it wasn't you who threw them away.
No, but as soon as they
No, but as
came
soon as they
in.
come in, they leave.
Okay, wait a minute.
They found them.
Last
Steve took them home.
Wednesday-
This is what I heard.
What?
Steve found them in various trash cans around the town complex, and he ended up taking them out of the trash and took them home. Steve, the custodian.
But we.
This is what
one
I'm
of us
hearing.
was
I'm
there
just
every Wednesday,
reporting
right?
to you.
And actually, so the shipment comes in on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So 2 Wednesdays ago,
Yeah.
all but 1 dozen left on that Wednesday afternoon because 283 pounds of food went out on that Wednesday.
Which is
Last
great.
week, we didn't have the refrigerator, and so eggs and milk were immediately taken to the
Well,
refrigerator
the
in the
milk
little.
was, the eggs we left.
Oh, the
Remember?
eggs we left, and they were all
They
given
got them
out.
left, Yeah. The milk we put in the little refrigerator in the COA because we
Right.
had unplugged, the other
The other
refrigerator
one
already
was
been
unplugged
unplugged.
and had-
But it left on Wednesday, it went out.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm
I know there was
just
one thing
reporting
of
what
eggs when
I-
I left.
What I've been
At two.
told. I don't know. So.
I don't know when that would have happened because
because
we've
the
been
guys
there the
haven't
last
either.
2
And
Wednesdays.
And cheese.
Linda has, and it's
Individually
gone.
wrapped cheese too, I guess, has
Well,
been.
perhaps that's
Well,
stuff's
unless
coming
was-
from somewhere else and not the council. on
Were there
Aging
any,
food pantry.
unless there was anything in the refrigerator when that got unplugged? But I
No,
wasn't there that
was-
day,
Oh,
so I don't know about
But
that.
they've plugged it in.
but the eggs
In the
had gone,
office.
the milk had all gone from the week before,
Yeah,
so
the
I
week-
can't even
so
imagine
The
this.
week I was in Florida, I wasn't in there, so I can't speak to that week.
But we were there,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and we can
and
speak
eggs
to it, and
went,
it
yeah.
went.
So I don't know where these eggs,
I don't know,
I
this
had no
is
idea
what I
either.
was told when I
Yeah.
went to say what tasks, and they're very concerned about this refrigerator, so I said, I'll bring it to the board,
Yeah.
and here I am.
I-
Bringing
yeah.
it to
What's
the
this
the
board.
degrees it
perplexing
has
to
to
me,
be at?
I
because we
believe she's.
gave it
was
away.
42 or 43
Not coming from
degrees. It
from the
has to be, it
pantry.
can't go above that,
I
but
don't
it,
think
that
we
it
did
does
that, did it?
fluctuate.
But we've definitely thrown away vegetables and fruits that were bad.
Oh,
Oh,
I
that,
have
yeah.
gone home with a little bag most Wednesdays of very soft potatoes that we wouldn't give
But it's
out,
stuff
or a
that's
bad
come in and
mango,
can't-
or avocado, and I just,
Yeah, I haven't
Oh,
been there.
definitely.
So it's
you know,
stuff
put
that
it
comes
out
in
in
and you can't
trash.
put out.
Right.
Okay.
because it's really not food you would give to
Give to people,
anyone.
right, right.
But it's not stuff that's sitting there and spoiling, it's
No,
stuff that comes in.
no.
Comes in, we do it right away, yeah.
Yeah, we do a
Right.
triage
Yes, we do.
of vegetables right away.
This is something you can discuss with the outreach worker when
Yeah.
you're in the pantry and with Nisha. I'm just
Okay,
being
it's
the.
very perplexing to me.
I'm just the messenger.
Yeah.
So I guess they would like us to vote on, as a board, whether we cancel the order when it comes in, say we cancel it and we want a duplicate of what we have.
Well, can we cancel it?
It will come and we can cancel it, send it back and say, no, we've decided we want the other one. This is what I've been told.
It's en route?
It's en route.
There'd be shipping
I mean,
I
if
don't
our
know.
Board of Health and our neighbor's table have both said that that refrigerator is okay, then okay.
Right. Do we need that in writing?
I do have one concern about the refrigerator that
The doors you had
that
said.
I guess old. I put Post-its on it because if you open one door, it's a side-by-side glass doors. And if you open one side, the change in air pressure often pops the other one open.
Is this
And
a
you
side-by-side?
close the one that you have just opened, but the other one can remain ajar a little bit. So I put Post-its on saying you need
Right.
to
Make
make sure that both doors are closed.
Side by side.
Neon Post-its. You know, that's the one weakness I saw of the refrigerator, but every time I've come in, it's been fine. People are aware of that.
Oh, yeah.
You learn and you do.
You
Yeah.
just make sure that.
You just check it a
Yeah,
bunch
you
of
just
times,
check
yeah.
it.
The doors to make sure they're closed and
So
it's a,
Yeah, I
what
mean,
does the board say? It's not my decision.
well, so since we have not talked to Maureen and Nisha about this, was Maureen adamant? I mean, I guess she's the one that's in there?
Yeah.
I would say it was more, Nisha was adamant and Maureen agreed
adamant to buy the new one or?
to not
Not buy
accept
the
the
new
big one, get a smaller one.
Well, I think, personally, the pantry is at a nice size now, we have more room in
Right.
there, and if you get a bigger appliance, it's gonna take like you say, it's gonna take away from the room we have. People coming and going, I like the room the way it is, it's very,
And my gut
Been
feeling
workable.
is that if we have two that are the same, one that's in the Council of Aging office now, if there is an overflow, when you were saying, oh, you know, we might have this big, you know, you could put the overflow in that for the time being until you have room. If you, I mean, I know we've been seeing an increase in the pantry use, but we'd have two refrigerators that you could fill and, you know, if someone says, oh, I came here for eggs, oh, wait, we have more in the other, we'll get you some.
So are you saying
are you saying to buy the new one?
I'm saying
keep the old one in the
keep
Council
the
on
old
Aging
one,
office?
yeah, because we don't have to return that.
And keep-
And take,
Oh, yeah.
Put the
let
big one?
Amazon give us the same as we have, save $1,000.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
because
to
there have been
me.
times when that refrigerator has been crowded,
Yes,
you know, especially if we get lots of,
And it would be the same if we accepted this new one. It would still be, you'd have an extra refrigerator in the, we don't have to return that Council on Aging. It would cost them too much to come and pick it up and take
right,
it
exactly.
The one that's
So
in
you're
the
saying let
office.
the
So we can get
exist,
a replacement
for free,
for free.
the
that's
same thing that we
exactly-
have.
Oh, I-
Or we pay $1,000 more and get this one that's en route.
I think we should
That's
go
gonna be
what we
huge.
have personally.
oh, so you're saying, so sorry,
Yeah,
let me
I
restate. You're
didn't
saying
understand that.
cancel the big refrigerator.
Well, will have to be delivered and then we
What-
cancel it,
Return it.
yes.
Return the big refrigerator and then let Amazon replace the existing refrigerator?
Send
have
us the
two of
same
the
thing
sm-
for free.
Oh,
It's a no-brainer.
Two refrigerators for
That's a
free?
like a good
no-brainer.
idea.
I mean, why would you?
$1,000 for a bigger thing than you can be cramped in. That, I mean, my
Yeah, I
feeling
don't
is,
know.
Spatially, what's in the room
Works
has
better.
been working well.
It has
Yes.
worked well.
and if you
Yes.
say there's an overflow in the refrigerator,
Go
you have
to the
another
other one.
refrigerator that you can use.
I like that answer.
Doesn't that make sense?
That
We're
makes
saving
perfect sense. If that's a
$1,000.
possibility, that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we make
Now,
a motion?
perhaps if Sean comes back, he'd be upset with this decision, but it is what it is. So, okay, that's something that I guess we'd have to vote on because it's a financial.
Oh, yeah.
And we will let Nisha and Maureen know so that when the new one is delivered, I mean, maybe in the meantime, they're going to say, you know what, we decided against this. Can we have our original plan, which was just a replacement of the existing refrigerator? I mean, Nisha has all the Amazon accounts and everything that it's on. So, let's have a roll call vote on this the motion is to, not deny the,
Motion is to cancel
cancel,
the
thank you.
larger refrigerator order
refrigerator order.
and replace it with a replacement of the existing model.
I second that. Voting. Deb,
I vote yes.
Irene? Whoop.
I vote yes.
I vote yes.
I vote yes.
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 Yes, unanimous. Yep. Okay. Newsletter. Nisha has the template. Sean had told her that if we are going to send the same amount of newsletters out that we did in the last newsletter, we would have to add more postage to the account, the account at the post office. The postal permit costs about $450 for the amount of people we're sending it to, times 6 times a year. And that is for 1,400 mailed newsletters. I know we've made a very concerted effort to have people go on and accept the newsletter by email, and then if they want paper copies, they're available around town. I don't know if we've had a whole lot of people take us up on that, but 1,400 mailed newsletters for a town the size of Groveland. The Haverhill COA sends 700.
Which one?
Haverhill. Now, we're talking Haverhill versus Groveland. They send out 700, and the rest are distributed around their city and sent emails. So,
My prediction would be that their cutoff age for
Yeah.
those that they consider to be a senior and a recipient of the newsletter they send out is a higher age than
65.
ours.
That could be.
Sean and I discussed that, too.
When we were talking about this, Nisha mentioned that Irene has been busy updating the list.
Well,
And
there
that
are
is,
several issues with that.
yeah,
You know, it's hard to keep the list updated because the senior population does tend to move. And we've got a lot of senior housing in this town between Nichols Village and
Whitestone.
Whitestone and even River Pines and the Commons and the Manor. Those seem to be addresses that change a great deal. And because so many of those are rentals, it's not even usually published, or we are not informed that someone has moved. So after spending hours updating the list based on the
Thank you.
most recent information I had from the town clerk, I was really surprised when about 30 got returned undeliverable. Either, I understand the temporarily away, because
Yeah.
what,
Winter.
snowbirds, is that the, whatever? But we also have an issue of there are people who are on the email list who also want to get a paper copy. So it's double dipping.
Oh,
But I think when they want a paper copy, we could sort of say they're around town.
Well, but at this point, if they have come in and visited the COA office or emailed and stated that they want a printed one, they've been added to the list.
Did we include this money in our budget requests going into FY? Whatever year.
Yeah, it will be under, it would come out of our,
Expense line?
no,
No.
no. Our expense line
Revolving?
that was included, the proposed budget, our expense line only paid for the phones
Okay.
and the my senior center subscription. I'm calling it a
So
subscription.
this was
I don't know
coming
if
out of
it's-
Yeah.
revolving money?
This would be coming out of either I believe it's revolving. Nisha had asked if maybe we could ask the Friends to pay for this postage, so $450 approximately times 6 is,
2,700, you said earlier.
thank you, dear. I didn't say it, you must have added it up.
Oh, maybe.
I should
thought
have
you
done
said
that. So $2,700, do we ask the Friends? I don't know what their budget looks like, if they would pay for the postage, or it would just come out of our
Well-
revolving or donation?
At this point, we don't have to put the full 2,700 on the meter.
No,
we?
exactly.
So
And
we
we
could-
don't know we will just need to do it for our May, June, and then whatever happens at town meeting and election, what we get, and we can decide that further.
So we could authorize putting $500 or something on the meter.
Yes.
450
Yes.
on the meter for now,
postage
which buys
meter.
us a little bit of time.
There is some money left
Yeah.
there, we don't know how, but we do have, we had the money
I mean,
right
I know
now
it's a
to
lot of
do
money,
that.
but I still feel like there
I feel it's
are people that
reaching.
want to get that in the mail,
Yep.
and that it may be the only outreach that they're getting from us.
I recently did a craft fair at the Newburyport Senior Center, which is also their community center, and I was looking around, they have a newsletter there, and they request that people who want a paper copy mailed to them pay $8 a year to get that.
And we only do that for out-of-town people right now,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And so maybe
Right.
that's something we could look at in the future, is to charge a small amount
Yeah,
for people who want
Sounds
to
good.
receive it in
Yeah.
the mail.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, I think
Because
that's a
ours is-
valid.
ours is 6, so if we did $1 an issue, $6 a year.
I think that's
or
a
five-
valid-
Even $5 a year for per person to do that. I
was
don't-
thinking 10, you get in 12 months for $10.
Well,
We'll start small.
we're trying to,
I know, I'm-
taxes and everything's gonna go up.
Oh,
That's
that's
something we
true.
can
I always
discuss
think
down the
less.
road. Hopefully, we'll have a director at that time, but for now, can we vote to add to the permit, what did you call it? You called it a.
The meter, the postal meter?
The postal meter. I don't know how much is left. Well, she said $450 to do what we did, 1,400.
So it's not like it goes bad.
No.
the postal
so-
meter.
Right, it will
So
still be,
let's
we
just
still will
add
need it.
$450.
Okay, so do I have a motion?
Yes.
Okay,
Make a
to-
motion that we authorize Nisha to add $450 to the postal meter to cover the May, June newsletter.
Issues of the newsletter, right.
I second.
Second, all in favor, here we go with the roll
Can we have a
call vote.
discussion?
Oh, discussion,
Um,
sorry. I
At,
thought
at,
everyone did
at the
discuss.
last Friends meeting, there was a lot of discussion about going back to a monthly newsletter. They were pretty strongly in favor of that and wondered why we were doing the 2-month. And, we all know that it was staffing and
And
cost.
cost.
And cost. So I think, it's, might be a put your money where your mouth is kind of proposition to the Friends. That the problem with that is it adds to their fundraising burden, and we rely on them for many, many things. One of the things that Sean and I and Linda, talked to the board about is, there are other ways to fundraise. There are some good things in place, and there are some traditional things in place, but there are other avenues to funding. Now, of course, with Sean gone, we are, we don't have that resource to coordinate that. He was, hustling around and working at helping not only the Council on Aging, but also the Friends of the Council on Aging. So, I think that this is a good stopgap, and I would imagine that the summer newsletter was probably always 2 months.
We don't do a summer
You don't do
newsletter, I
one?
don't think. And
Oh.
our board, traditionally, the board doesn't meet in the summer, and
I-
I don't think there was a newsletter. I think it goes
But
out in the
but
June.
are there still activities? Is the van still running? Are there still things going on, events
Yeah,
Well, I
during the
guess it
summer?
did, I guess
Oh,
it
yeah,
does,
because
I'm
I-
sorry,
I run
yes,
summer
Yeah.
events.
yes, yes, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
so I think that, my recollection was that the summer newsletter was 2 months anyhow.
Yes,
So
Okay.
that gets us 4 months down the road.
But I also think the contract that we currently have with the publisher is for newsletters that are 2 months at a time.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, it'd be nice to have a director to help us sort through all of this stuff, but,
Right.
we're aware and we're trying to figure it out.
I think if April 3rd is the meeting with the Friends that I'm going. Is that what the date is? It's on my calendar. And I mean, I can bring this up, since they brought up they wanted it monthly.
and maybe, if they know how much it costs.
And if I bring a cost.
So for
can we get
1,400
almost
mailed,
$3,000
Well,
a year
it's,
from
it's
them.
not only posted, but it's also additional printing costs.
And take a picture of
Potentially.
Irene's face.
Oh,
with
yeah.
the
Well,
suggested
right now,
time.
there's no printing.
Well, it
So-
might change if it's a monthly.
Oh, exactly,
Yeah.
right.
March, April,
I mean,
Like
Like you say, if
how
we
are
know
we
the-
even going to do a May, June newsletter? It's a different program, it's a different template. I don't even know if Nisha has it.
She does, she has it.
Oh, great.
Because that was, so I said to her yesterday, so that's good, we know what the front page is gonna be, it'll be a letter about resignation, but hopefully we won't have, I don't know what we're going to do.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's coming, there will be activities coming, we have the older Americans,
Yes.
or whatever it's
Yes, and
Yeah.
that's worth
Yeah. we need to-
promoting.
promoting, there's been a lot of already groundwork put under, for that. So, yeah, there will be, and, I will be happy to help. Have we figured out that computer yet, Irene? The template and all that, or, I don't know.
This is a new template.
It's a whole
Yeah,
new
it's a whole new
template.
This is a whole new
It's a
program.
new
I know,
it's a
I
new
know.
publishing program.
Certainly one I have never used before.
Maybe Nisha, if we give her the information, does she know how to use that template with that program?
I don't know the answer to that,
Okay.
and I don't think that's in her job description. It's in the director's job description.
Isn't there
It's
anything in these
assist.
job descriptions that say duties as other, and other duties as assigned?
I think it assists.
Every job I
think it
ever
does
had
say
that in my
assist.
job description, I'm sorry. Every single job I ever had
I
said,
think it does say something about assist.
and other
with
duties as
newsletters.
assigned, so.
Yeah. So I don't know, that would be assisting. So that, again, is another, if you would bring that up,
But I will bring that up
and
to
it's
them,
1,400 mailed newsletters.
Okay.
It was just under 400,
2,700 a year if they can.
yeah. And it was just under $450 to
I
send
do
that.
know the balance of their budget.
Okay, there you go. So,
Right now, they have 8,000, I believe.
okay.
Wow.
And then,
8,018.
Oh, I like
then
I like
other
Barbara's idea
thing,
of those.
just so you know, if you've all gotten your key cards from the COA, if people out there have not received their little key cards, the COA is issuing these. It'll be kind of like a sign-in, and when you come into the COA office, you sign in, and it will say why you're here, and clicks, and it helps us to keep the numbers of how many people are participating in activities, how many people are coming to board meetings, how many people are volunteering, working at the pantry. It keeps the numbers down so that, and if we have like some kind of program, please go in and click in, because that will say this is the attendance, rather than sitting there and writing everybody's names. And it goes right into our senior center, which helps us track who, and maybe not who, but how many people are attending our different things, different activities and programs, and how many people we're reaching. And it helps in the long run to document what the COA is doing. We ran out of key cards, but Nisha had ordered 300 more, and they are here, so please stop in at the COA office and get your key card. And anything you attend, remember to do that. So I have to go over there now. I just came from 3B Fit and go, and then I'm also going to go, went to a board meeting. There we
We
go.
have to do that too before we go home.
Yes, please do, okay?
Oh.
But we'll have to go in individually, so we're not making a quorum.
Oh, boy.
We don't
Okay, any other business? I know this was just, I wanted to
Go
try to
in like
help
this.
out with the COA, so we have, and then there is these, I forget what they're calling it, the senior week. And there's something planned up at Beasley.
Yeah, older Americans.
There were some other things planned in the future that Sean had, started with. The person that was going to do the flower arranging. I actually went to an event with her on Sunday, and she commented how wonderful Sean was, and I said, unfortunately, and she said, I'm going to call him Monday night, and I said, unfortunately, or afternoon, so he's not there right now, and he resigned. But she has gone and was pricing out how much it would cost to do her programs. So I told her to call, and Nisha could take that information down. So that I know. And I've had a conversation with Darcy regarding the event that we were going to share with the library. And it turns out that it might not even work out that well, because the woman, did you understand, did anyone, yeah, I don't know if that will be happening or not. It just wasn't what we thought. We thought that this person would come to our event, but she's not traveling anymore, so it would have ended up being a 10-minute Zoom meeting, and that was it. And that's not a big event, Fuller, So, anyway. Any other business? I know this kind of turned into a regular business meeting as well, but
Well, we have business.
Well needed.
Future steps.
that was future steps, and we
Yeah.
need to support,
Right, we have to
support them.
support, I know.
And it's back with, here we go. So, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved?
Sorry.
Okay. Next meeting is April
19th.
19th. Thank you. I'm trying to add my head. April 19th, 9:30 hopefully in the town meeting room. Have you set that up? Yes.
It's been reserved for us.
Good. Okay. And thank you, Chris, for getting us on
Yes.
Zoom.
Chris.
Close.
We didn't have,
Thank you, Laurel.
was he on it?